There's nothing like a good hoax to remind us what suckers reporters and public officials are when it comes to believing these fairy tales about white racism and black victimization. Today we have kind of an embarrassment of riches. We have two hoaxes exposed, revealed on the same day. One at Drake University in that hotbed of white racism, Iowa. Another one, an identical thing, happened at a university called Goucher outside of Baltimore, Towson, Maryland. The schools are kind of the same. Have these small liberal arts schools, lots of rich kids running in around in both of these schools, with kind of a smattering of affirmative action scholarship students. And they're so eager to become victims of white racism that if they cannot experience for real in their real lives, they have to make it up to make it a part of their fantasy life. Let's see how this thing at Drake played out.
Shane, at Drake University's president sent out that letter. It says that 2 more racist notes have been slipped under students' dorm room doors. That comes after another incident just like that earlier this week, and another separate incident where racist robocalls were sent to about 200 some odd Drake phones that encouraged black students to go back to Africa. That was a quote that said there. It was allegedly sent by a white supremacist group. Now, a pointed part of that letter sent out by Drake's president, Marty Martin, says to students, quote, "The individual's goal is to sow fear and anguish and then to sit back and watch us fight among ourselves over what he or she has done. We cannot give that racist this satisfaction." Now, if you want to read the full letter, you can check it out on the KCCI 8 News app. Now, just yesterday, as you mentioned, Shane, 3,500 students, staff, and neighbors protested racism and racist incidents on campus. After today's latest incident, Martin says the university is working diligently to find whoever's responsible. And the police are involved as well. We talked about the department and students tonight.
I think that the university has done a really good job in trying to step up and make sure everyone feels welcome. You can't be naive and think that that's not a thing in this world anymore, but it is scary and it is sad to know that that is happening on our campus.
It's a crime. It makes people feel very uncomfortable, not safe, and the content's very disturbing. So we take it very seriously, and we're at this point right now, we've got some pretty good investigative leads. So I'd like to think that we'll have some production here pretty quick.
Now, whoever is deemed responsible for this would face criminal harassment charges. Students also tomorrow are planning to protest racism by painting the painted street here on campus black. That is an event scheduled to take place tomorrow at 1. Live outside Drake University in Des Moines, Chris Goffner, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.
You want another bucket of paint?
The paint was flowing at Drake University with trays, gloves, and roller brushes. Students were prepared to address recent acts of racism on campus.
What is the most public, biggest place on campus where we can make a big statement? We said, let's do it on Painted Street.
So Friday, hundreds met at Painted Street to hear messages.
Look at everybody here. This is really beautiful.
And to send a message.
Begin painting the street.
They used the dark color to symbolize unity.
And now that it's going to be black until Drake relays, honestly, it's a huge deal.
They worked fast, and the messy paintbrushes prove it. In a matter of mere minutes, they had the entire street painted black. We sent up our Sky 8 to capture the moment. Sped up, you can see just how quickly they got it done. What was supposed to take 3 hours took less than 15 minutes to cover up those bright, colorful squares.
As a minority student here on campus, it makes me feel as though I'm supported. It makes me feel as though I actually matter on this campus.
A lot of times we're looking for the support. We don't know where it's at. And to see people from all these 50 squares and these organizations come out and say, we're here with you, we want to paint with you, and we're doing this because we want to stand in solidarity with you, is definitely, it feels so good to see that.
And for students of color like freshman Timothy Gant, they hope the discussion doesn't stop with the stroke of a brush.
This idea started with the conversation. Please keep talking, keep talking.
This is the beginning. We need to work harder to do more. We need to do better.
Have learned in the last hour that one of those 4 racist notes is now considered fake. 2 female students reported they received letters under their dorm door on November 15th. 2 days ago, those same 2 students reported they received another racist note under their door. But through an investigation, police were able to determine that that note was not real, and one of the students admitted to writing it herself. Now, of course, we've been following these letters for the past month now, and it has garnered a lot of attention in the Des Moines area. It sparked a rally. We have some video of that on campus with thousands of students and community members taking a stance against this hate that was represented in these letters. And that same week, students painted the iconic painted street that is in the middle of campus, normally very colorful and vibrant on campus. They painted that black to symbolize unity. Now, we spoke to police just a few minutes ago, and they say this should not hinder the support and message students have been trying to send across campus since these letters first surfaced.
It's a troubling thing, but I think we'll be able to get through this. And again, it's not going to take the wind out of the sail of the community.
Now let's head over to Goucher University, or Goucher College, Towson, Maryland. Exact same story.
That's right. Police say the suspect is a student here and that he targeted individual students by name and room number and included his own. It is our duty to fight for freedom. This student protest on Goucher campus followed a November 14th incident where racially charged graffiti targeting specific students appeared on a bathroom wall in a residence hall. A second similar incident occurred yesterday, and just hours later, police arrested this man, 21-year-old Finn Arthur, a Goucher student from Brunswick, Maine, who was African-American and included his own name in the threats written on the wall.
I'm really happy they did find someone.
The administration wants strong action.
We are disappointed that the Baltimore County Police have not yet charged the suspect with a hate crime, and we strongly encourage the state attorney's office to do so.
Arthur is currently charged with 2 counts of malicious destruction of property. Javante Newman, who knows Arthur, says he was surprised by the arrest.
Definitely was caught off guard a little bit, but you really never know who's going to do what.
So who is going to be the first university president to step forward and say, listen, we're not going to do the rallies, we're not going to do the signs, we're not going to do the protests, we're not going to do the virtue display at this institution of higher education until we figure out what exactly happened. And having a bunch of freshmen who are desperate to become victims so they can put their moral virtue on full display.
Please, sir, I want some more.
That's not exactly considered proof in the real world, unless of course, you happen to work for the New York Times, unless, of course, you're eager to do anything not to make the black kids angry.